Welcome to Mint. I'm Koshy. In this edition of From the Newsroom, we are joined by Shauvik Ghosh, who's going to talk to us about the importance of the Supreme Court's verdict regarding allocation of natural resources. Welcome to the show, Shauvik.
Thank you.
So, Shauvik, could you begin by telling us what exactly did the Supreme Court say today?
Well, essentially today the Supreme Court responded to a presidential reference, which is essentially the Government of India seeking clarifications for the February 2nd verdict. And essentially the court has ruled or given its opinion on the fact that auction cannot be the only only method for allocation of natural resources. They've also upheld the February 2nd verdict, and they've also said that constitutionally an auction is not mandated. The Constitution does not mandate an auction for allocation of natural resources. The government, in its wisdom, has the complete power on policy decision making.
And what does this mean for the 122 licenses that were cancelled by the Supreme Court, in the fallout of the 2G scam?
Nothing changes for them. Those licenses still stay cancelled. There's still going to be an auction starting November 12th, well, expected to start November 12th. And spectrum will still be auctioned, as the response today, the Supreme Court response did say. What is the most interesting thing that's come out of today's response is the Supreme Court has clarified that blurry line that lies between the judiciary and the executive and the powers of each arm of the government. The Supreme Court cannot interfere in the policy decision making, but can question the implementation of the policy decisions.
And finally, what do other people tell you, lawyers, industry specialists, regarding the import of this judgment?
Largely, this response has been welcomed. I mean, the fact is, over the last 3-4 months, maybe the last 1 year, you've seen a number of scams and alleged scams coming up, and the Parliament was not able to function. Now, to some extent, the government will be able to go ahead with its policy decision making without fear of the Supreme Court or any other court interfering in that. Once the policy decisions are made, the implementation is what the Supreme Court steps in with.
So clearly, the Supreme Court's opinion is going to have far-reaching effects in the policy of this country. Thanks a lot for joining us, Shauvik, for this.
Thank you for having me.
That's all we have in this edition of From the Newsroom. Keep watching.